What is up, guys? Boop here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at what I learned during the Trio FNCS, which was this last weekend for all major regions. I did pretty decently in the Trio FNCS. I made it past Opens. I know a coach actually playing the game. That's crazy. I've VOD reviewed my games. I looked at it back and this is the 5 things that I learned. Number 1. Do not throw your games W keying. There are so many situations in that semifinals where we came out of Starks with really bad loot, really bad shotguns, and we didn't W key, and we still got a lot of points that game. It is so important that you do not throw your games W keying for loot, since lots of POIs in semifinal situations can be unlooted since most players play really passively. In semifinals or even opens, you only have 10 games, so you cannot throw a random game, especially when the loot spot that you're landing at is high risk, like we landed in Starks. You can die or spawn a few times and there's your tournament gone. So it is so important that once you run out of spawn and you have bad loot, try to third-party loot things. You will always find opportunities later on in the game to get refreshes, especially if you carry something like a harpoon. You can always get something else. Unless you're a Mongrel or a Benji, there's literally no point W keying for your loot. You're not going to finish the fight fast enough, you're going to get third-partied, and you're going to lose your game. Number 2 is looking at the clock, or the timer that you see underneath your map. It is so important you keep an eye on this timer when you're making decisions, since it's essential whether or not you need to make a play in that moment. How often are you in a situation in second moving zone or first moving zone, where you are bad on mats, bad on loot, and you need to drop low ground to make an impact frag? And all of a sudden, that zone pulls back because you didn't wait that extra 5 seconds to determine whether or not you need to do something. If you are in IGL for your trio, you need to keep an eye on this timer, since it's basically the trigger for you to make a play or to not make a play. This is also applied to first zone or second zone when you want to rotate or box up somewhere. If there's 10 seconds left on the zone, do you really need to waste your mats boxing up somewhere? Or wait, look at the timer, then make a decision. Number 3 is height retakes. It is never worth it, or almost never worth it, to randomly take height at the end of first moving zone, or at the start of first moving zone, or at the end of second moving zone, or any time when you have a lot of mats. Even if you have shockwaves on every single member of your team, playing height is just random. You're just going to take a 50-50 basically shockwaving up down to height. If you die with 2.5k match, you've pretty much thrown 20 minutes of your game and gained maybe 3 or 4 points, because all of the placement points are at the end of second moving zone to third moving zone. Evaluate your inventory. Ask yourself, do we really need to play height here? Do we need to throw our game here to play height? If the opportunity is really free, then obviously go for it. But when you want to force something, reevaluate, think about it, and make a decision. Number 4 is mainly about mid-game rotates. It is always better to be early to rotate than later, especially in stat games where people are tagging you up. People start congesting around the edges of certain zones. It's really messy. So use cars. Cars are your friend. Rotate earlier on your second zone so you can set yourself up for better third zone rotates. To do this, pretty much know your drop spot, know where the cars spawn, and then set up routes for every single zone. So go into lootlake.info, set up a zone on the northwest of the map, northeast of the map, southeast of the map, and southwest of the map. Say what kind of route you would take in second zone and first zone, and then set that up, pre-plan it so that you don't have to do the thinking in-game, and you already have that knowledge before you get into the game. And last but not least, stay ahead. The Trios meta is all about clearing your layer and finding optimal rotates across moving zones. The best trios in this game are never playing on the backside of zone when they have a lot of mats. They're always staying in front, cutting off all of the players on the layers and making sure that the layer is clear. Don't be afraid to tank a few ticks of storm to be dominant on other players to stop them from cutting off your rotate. Stay ahead, stay consistent, and stay confident. The next few clips you're about to see are some of the games that we played during the semifinals. Hopefully you can kind of see how I played them and what I did in those situations. And hopefully you guys learned something. Share this with your trio, with your friends to help them out maybe. And enjoy the rest of the video. See ya. Yeah, let me be in the middle. This might get fucked, but we'll see. I'm chilling.
I got really far.
I'm going upper layer here.
I'm on boot.
I got one crash pad to you guys. I'm sitting around with you.
Okay, I need to get ahead. Ready?
Yeah.
Dropping layer.
I'm gonna look for search.
I'm on boot. Just stick together.
I have no hard mats. I need mats. Nice.
Seeing the finish.
Come here, come.
Yeah. We're chilling on
We're all the way
search.
dead side. We're all the way dead side.
I'm gonna try and drop a kid in our box.
Yeah.
Eating?
Not a cone, not a cone.
Here.
Forward.
Wait, I'm getting ready to stay back. It goes back.
Go back. Come here, Scott. Wait.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Go.
Not a top, careful.
What?
Okay. You could have pulled that a bit earlier.
Not there, that was the wrong, not that top. Chuck smash.
Fine, you guys got this.
You need to take over, you need to take over.
Going up, you have to come.
Yeah, what do you? Play together.
You have 200 mats, DD. 300 guard bot. Watch your floors, that might not be your floor.
You need to come, you need to see.
I'm with you. Well, I think we're second high.
Come.
They're gonna need to drop you. Idiot.
We're in zone here, just shoot.
Yeah, we're in zone. I have shock as well.
I have a crash pad as well.
I got cone. Help me.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm good.
Here.
Mats.
Go
Careful.
to
Nice.
I go 100 mats.
Flash,
Okay.
DD.
It goes back.
It goes up
Big.
a hill.
Come up here.
Come in.
It doesn't go up, it goes...
Here, take big. I still have a shockwave.
Have a big.
I'm gonna edit you down as soon as you're done, yeah?
Yeah.
You
Keep
have
going.
150 builds.
Breakthrough.
150 builds.
We're sitting here.
That's not your floor, it's not your floor.
Fine.
No. Just stay with the pump in hand. We're next to zone. Come here.
It's blue marker, not red. Blue marker, not red.
I know.
Drop to that wood right there. To that metal right there. No, drop. Drop, phone.
Yeah.
Chill, we're in zone.
You're in?
It goes back.
It goes downhill.
Maybe we could try to break down.
Yeah.
Oh, the low slayer. Shock is out.
Behind you, 90.
Just chill. 80.
90 dead.
Nice. I'm still low ground. If you can come low ground. I have 0 mats.
Siphon.
Walk it back if you
Stick
can.
together. Don't go for kills. Just stick together and make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
Cover
Stay
your
ahead, stay
right,
ahead.
Cover your right as well.
In our box.
I'm dead. Behind you right here. If you have mats, just don't do it. You're gonna let off placement points.
He doesn't have mana.
Okay.
Very little.
Nice. You can pay for that siphon.